Hey, it's Kyle here, and today I'll be reviewing Old Man's War by John Scalzi. I've really become a huge fan of Scalzi. I've read a few of his books over the past few years, and I've loved every one of them. I've reviewed Red Shirts on this channel before. That's still probably my favorite, but I've really loved Old Man's War. I've always heard about this book. That's supposed to be really awesome. The only reason I held off on reading it, I knew it was the start of a series, and I happened to be reading some other series at that time. I just wanted to wrap those up before I started a new series, but since I had finished those up, I thought I would start this series. Since I've loved everything that John Scalzi's written that I've read, and really loved Old Man's War. It has a really interesting concept, great sci-fi storyline, great characters, very unique. So much sci-fi tends to follow the same basic concepts or stories you've read before, just with different characters. This is a very interesting story that I really enjoyed a lot, with a lot of great humor, which I always think is very much a hallmark of Scalzi. All his books definitely have a great humor thread throughout them that kind of gives you some laughs, even when you're in some serious moments. So I really recommend this book. I've only read this book. I haven't read any other ones in the series yet, so I can't speak to the series in whole yet, but it's off to a great start. So the basic concept is... I'm trying to think of a good way to phrase this. So humanity has started exploring space, and they've actually started forming colonies, a lot of colonies actually. But a government on Earth is not in charge of this. Basically, there is a group that's been set up called the Colonial Defense Force, and they basically are a human government that's been formed to govern everything in space. They're the military force for space. The governments on Earth, like the United States, for example, are not allowed to explore space on their own. All space technology has been turned over to this Colonial Defense Force. Kind of as a trade-off, the Colonial Defense Force does not meddle on Earth politics, so they kind of keep the two things separate. But the Colonial Defense Force is reliant on Earth for volunteers to man this military to help protect the colonies, because one thing this book lays out that there are several other species throughout the known universe. They're all competing over resources, so there's constantly war going over it, because every time there's a planet that's found that's capable of being colonized, there's usually several different species that are fighting to colonize it. So it's very much almost like a galactic-wide world. So that not only does this military force have to fight to secure new planets for humanity, but also defend the colonies that have already been settled. But where did they get these soldiers from? And this is where the interesting part of this book comes from. Is they look for senior citizens, basically the elderly on Earth, volunteer for this military force. And people who live on Earth, it's very mysterious, but they know that this Colonial Defense Force has all this advanced technology, and they have some sort of technology that enables the elderly to become able fighting soldiers. But it's really on Earth, it's a mystery what this is. They don't know if they have some like use serum, or is it some sort of technology implants. They just don't know. And so this story follows John Perry. He's a new volunteer, and you kind of follow him, and you kind of learn all about this mystery of how old people are able to fight this war for humanity. And all these stuff that goes along with this, and why the Colonial Defense Force prefers the elderly over just recruiting 18-year-olds off the Earth. Why do they recruit the elderly to be this military force? Since all these volunteers are retirees, they're leaving all their family behind, so they're leaving behind their kids and their grandkids. So it also deals with, that's something they're thrown into all these people they've never met before, and now they're military units together, and how they adjust to this new world. On Earth they might have been teachers, lawyers, stay-at-home moms or dads, doctors, lawyers, whatever. Most of them were not soldiers. So now they're suddenly soldiers for the first time in their life, even though they're in their 60s or 70s. So it's a very interesting story. I really enjoyed it a lot. I don't want to get too much more into plot, because it'll start spoiling some plot points for this book. But if you like great sci-fi and you're looking for a new series to read, I definitely encourage you to read Old Man's War. It's a great first book into a series, and I'm sure the rest of the series will be very awesome too. I have the second book and the third book, I believe, into my to-be-read pile, so I'll be reading those soon. So very excited for that. So anyway, hope you enjoyed the review, and I'll see you the next time.